Yeah, the Refuge Food Forest started in spring of 2015, and it's a joint project between the town of Normal and University of Illinois Extension. And it's meant to be a community resource. It's basically a acre-and-a-half planting of fruits and nuts, and there's a lot of diversity. There's a prairie.
My husband, Bill Davison, he worked at University of Illinois Extension at the time. So he was trying to work with small-scale farmers to grow different types of crops. And this was a way to show people the types of things you could grow, like chestnuts and hazelnuts and all sorts of berry bushes and that sort of thing. So because I work at the town as well, and I work with the Parks Department, I was able to help collaborate, which was really fun. We used a ton of volunteers. We have people come out all the time and help us with weeding and mulching and trimming. But the original planting day, it took about 75 volunteers one day to plant more than 2,000 plants.
I have fond memories of planting day. We had 75 people out here. We planted 2,000 plants in a day, so the whole community was represented, you know, grandparents, parents, little kids, all working together, planting plants. So I like to think about those little kids that were planting these little sticks about this big that are now 20-foot tall trees, and then they'll get to see this develop over the course of their lifetime.
What I was doing today was pruning the black raspberries in a way that they can get more light, more sunlight, more air moving through the plants to improve their health, because the last 2 years we've really had issues with diseases because of our very wet and very warm spring times. We've needed to have some new strategies to make sure that our plants are going to be healthy after a couple of challenging years.
We've really had minimal chemical use. We've not used any chemicals for pest and insect control. We haven't even really had to water that much. We've had good rains over the years, and we've mulched with wood chips. So the town of Normal delivers wood chips, and we have probably spread 20 dump truck loads of wood chips over the years. So that adds organic matter to the soil, makes the soil healthier, and reduces the need for chemical inputs.
People could experience growing and picking their own food, especially children who develop their eating habits early. And so if you can get them to eat healthy food early, they can eat healthy food their whole life.
I teach at Bloom Community School, and because of the pandemic, we switched to outdoor school, and we were just lucky that our school is so close to the food forest. And so one of the main things that we use the food, my students spend a lot of time recess playing in the food forest, and so one of the things that we teach at Bloom is to teach kids to give back and not just always be taking. And so one of our parents, he actually runs the food forest, and so I've spoken with him, and so my class, which are the 5th through 9th graders, we come and we clean up the forest once a week. So the kids are learning things about how to mulch and how to water the trees, how to prune, how to cut away the sick plan.
On Fridays or sometimes Thursdays, we clean the food forest, and we learn all about like how to like mulch the plants and how to water the trees.
Over there I was doing mulching for, we had a mulch pile that we were taking care of, so they were just wheelbarrowing it over there and we were spreading it out. I think it's just a lot of fun to come out here and run around and to have a lot of fun here. So I think that's really it.
I've just seen a lot of really positive influence for the kids as far as they feel, compared to the times where they are inside, like last year, for example, they just feel happier.
Later on, some of the kids from the Bloom Community School came and helped me out. I've been working with them once a week since school began for them with their really unique program, being able to do their school outside. They were looking for ways to provide a service to the community and also help out this area where they are learning and exploring every day. So they wanted to come work at the food forest with me. And it's been really wonderful to get this extra help in a year where we haven't been able to have as many volunteers come and help us.
The history of ISSCS and the Refuge Food Forest goes back more than 100 years. The Illinois Soldiers Orphans Home, which was later known as Illinois Soldiers and Sailors Children's School, sheltered thousands of young ones whose families could not care for them. Those who lived and worked here still think of this place as the home. The home was originally created for soldiers' orphans after the American Civil War. Later wars and hard times brought many more children from across the state of Illinois. This section of the ISSCS grounds was transformed into the Refuge Food Forest in 2015. With guidance from the University of Illinois Extension and the town of Normal, volunteers planted nut and fruit trees, grapevines, berry bushes, and other edible plants that are self-sustaining. The organic produce in this modern community garden is available to anyone who wishes to come here.
I remember coming with one of my children one time to harvest yellow raspberries, and so that's an enjoyable memory because it's one of my children. Yeah, but otherwise I just try to visit the food forest when I can, and if I'm lucky, then something is ready to be harvested and I can get a little bit of it, but more often I just walk through and I admire it and enjoy the place.
The goals are to get people outside, so we really wanted kids and their families to be outside, picking fresh fruit, learning, what we could produce locally. And the long-term goal is to create well-educated consumers that can support local food systems over time. So people that appreciate fresh local food. I would just encourage anyone that visits to think about that, the fact that we could grow a lot of food in our own communities. We could feed a lot of people on relatively small plantings like this that also function as landscaping and provide beauty.
I teach a course called Design Streak Studio. Design Streak focuses on human-centered design, which is it's actually a research-based social innovation lab, and this is the space that we are in, the Design Streak room. So then I thought this would be a great project for students since we do this service learning and everything else. So the first initial thing was let's look at the logo. Let's look at an identity for the Refuge Food Forest. So then we looked at that, and then we also wanted to design information cards. As people pass through the forest, there are all these information about the berries or whatever that they're growing in there in the forest. So we decided to do that, and we also decided to do a brochure that people can come pick up. So this is how we started. I mean, some of the projects, I know we were working on 2 pro bono projects at the same time, and so this was the logo that was chosen.